Yeah, good morning guys. We're up here once again at Mammoth Cave National Park, and we're on an overnight backpacking trip into my favorite place called the Bluffs. We're about a third of the way in right now, here at the intersection at Turn Hole and some other routes that you can take. It's been a long season this year. I've not been able to get out anywhere near as much as I intended to. Different reasons for that. I won't go into all of those things, but it's a good day today. It's quite cold, quite chilly. I'm not sure. I think the high today is supposed to be about 38 or something. Tonight is supposed to get down into the 20s. So anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Come and join me. You know, hear another Beyond the Campfire little mini overnight adventure. I think we're going to have a good hike today. I just love the way the early morning sun this time of year casts these long shadows through the woodlands and across the trail here. And just gives it a really kind of a nice little rustic feeling to it, a little country feeling. I love the way those beech trees gather the light this time of year, especially early in the morning. They just glow. They keep their leaves pretty much all winter like that, and makes for a it just makes for a pleasant view as you're walking through the woods. And the trail goes on down that way. You can see it there in the middle. Well, we finally made it. My old arthritic hips gave me a little bit of trouble coming in here, but I made it. Took me a little longer than I anticipated again. Anyway, we're at the Bluffs. You can see the Bluffs kind of behind me here. Stretches all around that way for a pretty good little ways. And then of course there's a ravine here in front of me. And Campfire over here. And I'm going to set up my tarp and stuff right along this area here. Oh man, I've got kind of an active afternoon. It's about 11:30. It's almost quarter till 12. So I've got about 4 hours really of good light. It gets dark. It may get dark around 4:30, 4:35. But I'm going to have sort of an active afternoon. I'm going to, of course, get some firewood, get that all stacked up, ready to go, and I'm going to try to build another what we call a bushcraft camping chair. I built one in here a couple years ago. It's actually still here, but it's in a little bit of disarray. I need to kind of repair that, so I'm going to repair that as well. That way I'll have two of them here, and hopefully I'll be able to do that. And I'm going to try to hopefully be able to film video that process. Try to do it pretty quickly if I can. It's the reason I brought something that I normally don't bring on a trip like this. A little axe. This is a new one actually for me. It's got a little longer handle on it. A little hatchet. That way I can use two hands if I need to. I need this to help build that seat, that chair. And we're gonna have dinner probably around 3:34 probably. Anyway, beautiful day, light bright blue sky, a few light clouds, not many. I'm really looking forward to this trip. I haven't been able to get out much this year, for one reason or another, so it's good to be here again. And hang by, or stand by. We're going to get some stuff going here. All right, this is the little seat, little chair, camp chair that I made. It was last year, year before last, and I just leave it out here. And people have been using it as they come in. And it's really pretty simple to make. And so we're going to go through that process real quick, show you kind of how I do it. All right, you're going to make these chairs. You got to use some pieces of wood. They're about 2.5 to 3 inches in diameter. Need to be about 3.5 feet long minimum. 4 feet probably better. 3.5 will work. 3 foot would work, but you might be a little bit short. And they what you have to do is you've got to cut a little bit of an angle of a notch on them, so that they fit like this, so that they'll create a V, so that the notch is to the point to where they kind of butt up together and they create kind of this V shape. You're going to need 4 poles. We'll need a 5th shorter one, about this long, as a brace, and then you're going to need another one that's probably 2 feet long, 2.5 feet long, as a back brace as well. I don't have those just yet, but I'll have them here before too long. So, in order to cut those notches, what you do is you find the best, the best way that the wood lines up. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. So we'll need to cut the notch on this side and this side. All right, now you can kind of see how I did that notch. That way they kind of butt up together like that. See, it creates a kind of a V. You're going to do that with both sets, okay? And then we're going to tie it together. You'll see here in a minute. I'm going to show you how we do that. After you cut the notch, the angled notch, you want to cut another little notch on the back side of it, on all 4 of them, like this. And that's what's used when you tie them together. That's what locks the rope in, or the string in, that you're going to use. You do that on all 4 of them. Okay. So then we'll show you how to put these together in just a second. Now to tie the wedges together, you can use any kind of strong nylon type string. You can use paracord if you wanted to. It's a little heavier than you really need, but you can use it. And you want about a 3 foot long piece of it, maybe 3.5 foot, just arm's length out like that. That should be enough right there. And for each one that you're going to tie together. So since this is nylon, I'm going to cut it and then melt it. Come unraveled on me. Okay. And take these 2 to start with. And you put them together like so. And you want to take one end of it, and you want to make a little loop in the end of it, use like a little bowline knot or something along that line. Make a little eye in the end of it. Hold together. kind of put them together. Bring the other string in through. It's hard to do that with one hand. And you'll probably want a pair of gloves because you got to pull these really tight. A pair of leather gloves work. These aren't leather, but they do help. And then you just wrap it. Wrapping it and keep pulling it. Pull it really tight, like so. Wrap it again. Pull it really tight. Wrap it. I don't know, about the third time around, you're going to want to kind of start tying it off. Kind of bring it underneath. Around it. Really tight again. Bring it around, tie it off again. And then you have to kind of play around with it a little bit so you can get this thing tied off so it doesn't start coming off on you. You do a good job on that one. And okay, now you have to put a little brace across the bottom of it. I use paracord. You can use just a regular string like we used up at the top. And it's kind of a hard angle here, but you kind of get the idea because the other wedge goes in between there, and that's what it sits on, is that cross beam there. See, it's kind of, you kind of see how it's sort of wedged in there, like that. Now I'm going to have a support, a back support, that wedges in here and comes up to the top here, that keeps it from bending backwards. So that's pretty much it. Now there's a little bit of adjustment that still needs to be done to it, but you get the idea. You can kind of, that centerpiece, you can squeeze it a little tighter, make it a little bit longer so it'll sit more comfortably. But that's really basically how you do these things. It's really pretty simple. You can make them more permanent. This is really quick. Like down here, I could have cut a notch in here and a notch in here and wedged it in there. Up here, I could put two levels of ties on it if I wanted to. But just to demonstrate it, I didn't do that. If for just a temporary charge, you're going to use a time or two and then burn it in the fireplace, that you don't really need to do all of that. So anyway, I hope you kind of enjoyed that little piece of craft. We'll get it finished up here in a minute, and I'll show you how well it works. There's pretty much the finished product. Now you can put across here, you can put little slats and things and make kind of like a seat or a little board or a flat rock or something, but you don't really have to do that. You see the little brace I've got in the back there to kind of keep it from folding in two, and you can take something and kind of wedge it in there so it fits real tight. Take that bottom piece and wedge it in, and it works fine. Let me get over here. All right. Whoa! That wasn't supposed to happen, but anyway, you see what I'm talking about. It's something kind of lean your back against, kind of rest a little bit, kind of give you a chance to just kind of unwind without having to stress too much. It's a simple little project. Probably you can do it in an hour. It didn't take that long to do. Yeah, I got the tarp set up. nice little spot here. I've been here many times really in the last several years, and just this time of year is different. You know, I mean, I usually come out here in the fall, but I've been here in the spring and late summer. But this time of year, just everything just looks different. You know, it's because of the leaves are all dropped. Everything's kind of brown, and so now it's the woods seem to be more quiet. There's not as much activity, but it's a good place to come and just kind of relax and wind out and just get away for a little while. Packer's log, camp date 12/12/24.0342. Day's activity. Chilly day today, but clear. The woods were quiet and calm on the hike into the Bluffs area inside Mammoth Cave National Park. By far, it's my favorite getaway location. Created another bushcraft camp chair and gathered firewood. After setting up camp, the campfire was warm and comforting. Today's meal, chicken and rice with eggs, freeze-dried meal, really very good. Soon the sun will set and already growing colder, but I have a warm sleeping bag with a felt liner to ward off the chill. It's been a good day today. I'm looking forward for this evening and tomorrow morning. The mornings on the campsite are always special. Sun's about to set. I really love this low angle light in here. I didn't bring my regular camera. I'm just using the phone today. But I just didn't want to lug all that weight, and I've photographed this area numerous times in the past, so I'm looking forward to a good evening tonight. It's going to be chilly, but I'm ready for it. Love these little bluff areas here. Yeah, my battery's just about dead in this phone. It's cold. It is absolutely freezing. And it was a somewhat uncomfortable evening last night, but I managed to get through it. And the hard part is getting out of this warm sleeping bag in this cold air. I'm dreading that, but I gotta do that. So, all right, good morning, folks. See if we can get this day out.